a clear mission, of course, also a clear position. Our mission is we want to empower your skilled workers to digitize, capture, share, and transfer their knowledge, and to help them excel to achieve operational excellence. And what we uniquely your position is particularly at your knowledge, your capturing, organization, and transfer. Your LXP, LMS, some other your vendors in this space. What we found, again, connect back to my background from psychology, is something we think very important to capture experts' know-how through demonstration.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the HR Leaders Podcast. On today's episode, I'm joined by Sam Zheng, who's a CEO and co-founder at DeepHow. During the episode, Sam shares how to harness the power of AI to bridge skills gaps amongst frontline workers, how to capture, manage, and transfer knowledge using AI-powered video, and how to transcribe and translate expertise to turn hours and hours of work into minutes. As always, before we jump into the video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and follow on your favorite podcast platform. That being said, let's jump in. Hey Sam, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. How you been? What you been up to?
Fantastic. Being busy, as you know, AI is advancing fast, and
Yes.
and we we want to connect the technology, apply the technology to help your people, and particularly to help skilled workers.
Mm-hmm. Well, on that point, you've been on an incredible journey, and so I'd love to give everyone a bit of a background. So tell everyone a little bit more about your personal journey and how this led to the work that you're doing now at DeepHow.
Sure. I actually I study engineering psychology and always interested in understanding people, helping people, but seeing how technology is really transforming every aspect of life and work. And that's why I was thinking, hey, I want to study the intersection between technology and people, and did my PhD many years ago from University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. And after that, I joined Siemens Corporate Research, and that's an innovation center for Siemens based in Princeton, New Jersey, and spent over a decade there and leading and driving many digitalization projects and many now so-called Industrial 4.0 projects. And again, a lot of focus is trying to bring in more automation and robots to the shop floor, to the manufacturing, to the industrial environment. But what we quickly realize is when you're talking to folks on the shop floor and talking to folks in the field, is that, yeah, we need, we definitely need more automation, but we don't have enough skilled workers. Right, a lot of experts are leaving, take away their knowledge. Young people learn differently. We're struggling and trying to train people, and that really made us think, hey, we got to do something different. How can we leverage technology to help people to solve this so-called skills gap topic?
So really, you kind of identified that challenge, and that was what inspired you to start the business.
Absolutely. That's really that inspires us to build DeepHow. Again, we see multiple trends going on. Right, number one, technology, it is advancing so fast. Right, today AI, of course, Industrial 4.0, digitalization. That means people need to learn more and need to be reskilled and upskilled. And so in this your skill, technical, your domain. And meanwhile, right, millions of experts, they are approaching retirement, particularly baby boomer generation, and they spend years on the shop floor and building up their experience. Their knowledge have not been effectively captured and transferred to the younger generation of workers. And speaking of the younger generation workers, the learning paradigm certainly has shifted. Right, they're no longer interested in reading instruction manuals, SOP documents, and all these written format, right? And they spend, if they want to learn anything, they prefer go online, go to YouTube, go to TikTok. They want to see something visual, video, more interesting content. That's where we see that's really good opportunity here. Can we leverage the right? The format, the new way of learning, applied it in this environment, and that really uh, inspires us to create DeepHow. And of course, the whole content creation, video creation, it takes a lot of time and a lot of your skill required. And our idea is, hey, can we leverage AI to make this process a lot easier, right? Can transcribe your experts you're speaking in different languages in very noisy environment and understand what they are doing and also you organize all these knowledge and turn complex the workflow into these step-by-step instructions and make it very easy and translate that into different languages and make it very easy for workers to learn.
Mm-hmm. How do you describe where do you see DeepHow fitting into this ecosystem for HR leaders? Do you describe yourself as a LXP? Do you describe yourself? What I actually, you know what? Firstly, before we get into that, tell everyone obviously um, a little bit more detail about DeepHow, the solution.
Sure.
You know what makes it different, but also
Yeah.
more specifically the customers that you're serving, because I think that's important.
Yeah, totally. We have a clear your mission and of course also clear positioning. So our mission is to we we we, we want to empower your skilled workers to digitize, capture, share, and transfer their knowledge, and to help them excel to achieve operational excellence.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what we uniquely your position is particularly at your knowledge, your capturing, organization, and transfer. We actually work with your LXP, LMS, and some other your vendors in this space. And what we found again connect back to my your background from psychology. It is something we think very important to capture experts' know-how through demonstration. Because today, if we look at how knowledge is captured, typically, particularly in this space, they're captured in written and format, sometimes with pictures and so-called SOP, standard operational procedure. And you either have a technical writer and they need to work with expert. They actually go talk to the expert and then expert often need to, based on their memory, to share, hey, this is how I'm doing things. But there are a lot of details you're often you're left out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because these are skill type of work, procedural work. And in fact, it's a lot easier to demonstrate how you're doing things. There are a lot of rich information, nuances, in the context. And that's the power we want to capture. And we build capture app really like cameras. And, and people just open this up. Either they can do self-recording or someone else can record what they're doing. So we want to turn this rich demonstration and later into the instruction. And by the way, and that's why people also enjoy watching, right? You're watching video because it's just a lot richer information. Not only
It's
much
so
easier
true.
to
Like,
understand. Yeah,
yeah, it's so true because, you know, I read a when I first built. I'm just gonna give you a silly example, but it's just I think will resonate. Like when I first built my first PC, right? I read the manual of how to build a PC, which was very difficult, right? To where all of these components go. But what I did actually is just watch someone on YouTube building a PC, and I built along with them. So as they were putting in the CPU, I put in the CPU. As they were putting in the RAM, I put in the RAM. As when I put in the PSU, the power supply, I put in the power supply.
absolutely.
Right, and that's and it's similar with my friend works for Ford Automotive,
Yep,
and
yep,
he builds engines there, and he learned to build the engines while watching videos and or just watching other people in person, right?
yep,
But so how you mentioned videos, talk more about how you're doing that, and also
totally.
how you're then leveraging AI on top of that.
Totally. Like you said, you see, you can reflect your own experience. In fact, definitely, you see that apply to all of us. And this actually, there's plenty of research your papers and findings to back this up, right? And particularly to learn your skill type of work, and learning from demonstration, and this is so-called imitation learning, right? You can learn much better by watching other people doing things, and not, that also not only that you will learn quicker and then retain knowledge faster, longer, but also people will develop better confidence.
You're also applying the knowledge. You know, you're not
Absolutely,
just consuming it, you're applying and the
that's right.
knowledge. That's a very
That that
different. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, I have seen even at home. I've similar experience. My wife is a very organized person. Whenever we buy some home appliance or other digital device, she typically will organize all the manuals and put into a huge binder.
my
But the
wife,
thing is,
my,
when
my,
things
my
get
wife,
broken,
my wife does the same. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, when things get broken, we never flip those manuals. We go to YouTube, you're direct
That's true.
and searching, and someone have done something you're similar, and
Hmm.
that's why even at Siemens we saw some of our technicians, engineers, instead of going to the field, they actually will receive. I mean, they will bring with them. Today is not binders; they digital copy, but we say it's a digital replica of your paper manuals, right? The PDFs they load you see hundreds of these manuals in a thumb drive and go into the field, but again, they're not going to read that. They often they will go online, try to look for something, or they have to call help.
Hmm.
So that's why we see really, really important opportunity. And the key thing, like you said, then how can I take that experience to right the industrial environment to the manufacturing environment? Yeah, we spend years of work, and first we have to work closely with your skilled your workers in the field, understand the manufacturing environment. For instance, right, and this is not a like if you want to record this video, and this is not in a nice studio, the environment like currently we are in, it's very noisy. There are a lot of things going on, and people, and speaking, you see, with strong accents, and that's always the first thing. And how can we develop an application and mobile app make it so easy for people to use in that kind of environment? And then we solve the noise issue because sometimes the environment could be really, really loud. People need to wear all these ear protection, right, and goggles. And so the first thing is right. So we really custom our solution for those environment, and then the second part. These are not. I mean, they are skilled expert and they're skilled your workers, but they are not expert in video editing. And so how can we use AI to make this process so easy for them? So they're not afraid because they're right. A lot of those video
Of
editing
course.
software is full of gadgets and full of features, and it's intimating to them.
And
So that's why
is
we make it so easy.
is that where you talk about the auto segmentation? Is that correct?
That's right. That's right. We build our AI. In fact, when DeepHow we started 5 years ago, and we're already leveraging AI and use AI to do transcription, and that's the first part. And in very noisy environment, I mentioned. But more importantly, is use AI very very early on. We already started with multimodal understanding. So you look at our AI, and in fact has a name called Stephanie. So she will understand the experts you're talking and from audio and transcription, but more importantly, also looking at the action and sequences, and that's one the computer vision, and
Hmm.
combine all these information, turn this complex workflow into key steps. So that we call absolutely auto workflow segmentation, and
I
again
think
turn.
it's super helpful because um, you see the same thing again on YouTube. It does the auto segmentation on videos on YouTube.
We actually did that even before YouTube made that feature really popular,
You're
and that's if you look back and you will see actually YouTube did not release that feature at the beginning. YouTube still need people to go there
manually
and
did
then
it. Yeah.
and specify the timestamp.
Yeah,
Of
I
course,
did
now
that. My team did that for many years. Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I think one of the main things which you've already mentioned, though, is because of the global companies you serve, companies like Unilever, right? I know is a client of yours.
Yep, that's one of our
It's,
customers.
it's very important for them to have the auto translation. So
Yep.
they have a global workforce, and it can automatically translate those videos into any language. Is that just text? Are you working on audio as well? Are you working on
We,
voice?
we started with text, and you're absolutely you're right. In fact, to make the knowledge not only capture, digitize thing, and make it accessible to the global workforce, and that's so critical. And we work with, and today we work with over 100 enterprise and SMB customer, and many of them are really global company. And like you mentioned, you deliver, and also Anheuser-Busch, AB InBev, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stanley Black Decker. They literally have their workers in every continent,
Yeah.
and speaking different languages, and that's really the key thing. So first we start with the your translation text, and why? Well, because again, in a lot of these environment, it's very noisy. So people actually cannot hear. Like I said, they even need to hear.
Yeah.
And they need to have the hearing protection. So that's why, again, translation into text is critical. That's what we work on. But of course, we also can do the audio translation as well. And
Oh, you can already.
yeah, yeah.
Really?
So,
Wow.
yep.
That's
Mhm.
incredible. Yeah, I'd
And,
love to experience that because I think that's the part that there's one thing that to do transcriptions into different languages, but the audio
yep.
transcription is incredible. Is that like using? Is that your own proprietary or using ChatGPT 4 to do that? Like, what? How are you leveraging AI for that?
Yeah, good question. It's a combination of both. So, like you mentioned, ChatGPT, particularly GPT-4. So these are large language models powered by your transformer. Right? The transformer again is a deep neural network, and that was invented in 2017. And at that time, and we actually started the company in 2018. We're already leveraging all the latest technology. You're
Mm-hmm.
absolutely right. So these GPTs or transformers, because they are inspired by human brain, human neural network. And by the way, we our brain can do many things, even though there's only one neural architecture, right? So we can hear, understand things, we can see, and also make sense of the visual information, and then we can connect multimodality, etc. So that's what today the technology can do. And same thing for our technology. That's why we start with multimodal first. So a lot of those critical the critical algorithms we develop by ourselves, like for instance, auto segmentation. But we also take advantage of a lot of the state of the art, and particularly today, like for instance, voice generation
Yeah.
and translation. These are already solved problem, and then we tap into the state of the art, leverage their APIs, and we don't need to build everything from scratch. But one key thing is because we're working with again industrial customer and privacy is a very important a lot of enterprise topic. So that's why we put a lot of emphasis into our solution. We make it secure, right? And that's privacy your topic. So make it SOC 2 type 2, well SOC 2 type 2 compliant actually very early on, because we want to make sure, right, our customer then is comfortable, our users they're comfortable, their data is not just going to
No,
open AI. Yeah.
you can't get around that. Talk to me about how this is helping companies reduce their time to proficiency. Into
Yeah, absolutely. You see, we have lots of examples where reported from our customer and end user, but we also conduct systematic study. So very early on, so we try to compare. So there are multiple parts, and the benefit number one is how we can actually reduce experts' time and make them more efficient. And we see that because today expert at least spend in many factories we visit, it spend at more than 20% of their time and repeatedly teaching new employee some even mundane tasks. And not only this is not the good use of that time, and also a lot of new people, they're afraid to ask questions. And now we digitize that knowledge, and that can make the interaction with the expert a lot more efficient. Because young workers, they can watch your video, they can speed this up, they can
Experts,
slow
the
down.
expert now can spend time on more high value tasks, right?
Absolutely, a higher level, more complex topic, and
Mm-hmm.
we see that actually clear the saving express time and improving also new employees onboarding. So across this, we have seen your 30%, 40% and quicker onboarding and for tasks, because again, a lot of
You can scale it, right? You can now do it at
absolutely.
scale, which you can't do one to one, one to one, one to one. You can
It's
scale.
24/7, as
Yeah.
we all know, right? Because the once information is digitized and organized and all more importantly, easily accessible,
Mm-hmm.
then then everyone can just use iPad, iPhone, and whatever devices they are allowed to use on the shop floor and at home. They can access this.
Go go
And we
go go into
yeah, go ahead.
go into that a little bit more. Sorry to cut you off. Like
Oh, no, no
one of the
problem.
big challenges, and this is why I was excited when we first connected, is I told you I spoke to many companies that have a real challenge connecting with their frontline workers. What is the experience for the frontline workers? Do they have an app on their phone? Like what does that look like? How are you connecting with those frontline workers?
Totally. Yeah, that's actually that's really the part. We have years of experience working with your frontline workers and workers on the shop floor environment. So absolutely. Now we're seeing it's becoming now a lot more common compared to a couple of years ago, and there are iPads and on the shop floor, and then technicians they already have your mobile phones, your again Android, and
Mm-hmm.
all these devices. It's definitely just becoming a lot more popular. But one key thing I do want to mention, when we started at that time, again, people already have fear about AI. But the fear is, oh, AI is coming, right? Self-driving car is coming, robots are coming, they're going to replace people, take over jobs, and started with more the skilled workforce. Right first. But it turned out, after all these years AI development, right? You mentioned about ChatGPT, and it's actually threatening more on the white collar, your worker jobs, and all these skilled worker. But at the beginning, that's why we work with closely with our customer, with our end user. We may not understand, hey, this is a powerful technology,
Mm-hmm.
and no doubt this will potentially replace some of the tasks. But you can also take advantage of this to help you get better, right? So technology always has two sides, and today again now many of them they that's why they love working with us. They love our AI. They our AI assistant called Stephanie. They say, hey, they love Stephanie because Stephanie is here to help and make their
Can they ask Stephanie questions to instantly find content?
yeah, absolutely.
So
So
rather than searching through a library of content and resources, can they say, "Hey Stephanie, show me training on X," and then Stephanie finds them that?
yes, and we're also working on the latest Gen AI technology to take Stephanie to the next level. So the first thing is Stephanie can already do very comprehensive search,
Mm-hmm.
and of course before your ChatGPT, all these transformers just like Google, it can pretty much it can only do the keyword or the
Yeah,
key
it's
term,
like smart search
and you will
basically.
return
Yeah, it's
all the you see related your documents. But today, yes, we're already releasing beta, and it's a platform. Basically people just ask questions, and then we'll return answer. But we want to make sure, because these are the environment we know AI can hallucinate, right? And
that's
so
true. Yeah.
and these are the environment we want to make sure the data are accurate and reliable, and that's where we leverage this retrieval augmented generation RAG. And we always want to make sure, hey, AI, don't make up things. Look at all the data we already digitized, and look at the expert. Always make sure do the citation, just like I would actually teach my students because I also doing part-time teaching, advising students. You cannot just write something and making the claim without backup with evidence,
Yeah.
right? So that things. So yes, that definitely this is something we want to make knowledge very easily accessible.
Sam, I know I have to let you go because we're coming to time. But what would be your parting message to the HR leaders that are listening, and where can they connect with you and the team if they want to reach out?
Totally. Yeah, go to our website, deephow.com, right? DEPHOW, and then where you can find all the information and then the content. So we team up with HR leaders, and particularly in the skilled workforce domain, we actually see that's something emerging. So the HR leader will team up with the operational leaders and create even a new organization unit called workforce readiness. Yeah, because HR leaders definitely right has all the expertise, organize all the training material and understanding different job title and etc. recruiting and people and but the operational leaders, they are the one working with machines and then dealing with all these assembly lines, etc. And make sure things can produce. They have the domain, know how. So DeepHow actually we connect HR leaders and operations leaders and they work together with the frontline workers. So yeah,
Amazing.
we're always excited and looking forward to the opportunity to discussing all the HR leaders.
And listen, I love what you're doing. I think it's incredible. And anyone who's listening right now who has a large population of workers, you need to be speaking with Sam and
Thank you so much, Chris.
and the team. It's a lot of what you're solving right now is kind of the challenges I'm hearing day to day from, especially as I mentioned, those companies with a big population of frontline workers. And that as someone who kind of pays attention to the market, there are not many solutions out there, and that's why I was really excited when we first connected.
Yeah.
And I'm genuinely mean that as well. So anyone who's watching, we'll put a link below to DeepHow's website. Also, a link to Sam's LinkedIn if you want to connect with him directly on LinkedIn.
Yep.
You can check out the clients they're working with, as Stanley Black and Decker, Unilever. The list goes on. You're doing amazing work, so I'm really happy to see you doing well, and I look forward to catching up again soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Chris. We really appreciate your time.
Thanks.
And
Thanks.